More migrants could drown because UK deals with EU have cut off dinghy supplies, says Border Force. Published by The Telegraph. Factional warfare in Calais as smuggling gangs battle over fewer boats and cram more people on them. Migrants are at greater risk of drowning in the Channel because a shortage of dinghy supplies has led to fewer, more overcrowded boats for smuggling gangs to fight over. Increased UK-EU cooperation has meant supplies of equipment including dinghies, outboard motors and lifebelts have been cut off from the French coast by border officials and police. Gangs are now left battling over fewer small boats, loading different groups of migrants onto a single dinghy, often made from cheaper materials because of the pan-European restriction on supplies, according to Border Force sources. The UK has struck deals with Turkey, traditionally a source for dinghies and motors, Bulgaria, one of the main land routes for equipment into Europe, and Frontex, the European Border Agency. These are said to be having a significant impact on supplies of boats used by the people smuggling gangs for their illegal cross-channel trade. It comes as 4 migrants died on Friday when a flimsy dinghy barely 35 feet long capsized. There was just one life jacket and an inner tube ring between the more than 60 migrants crammed on board. Many of them could not swim. In April, 5 migrants including a woman and a 7-year-old girl died after being crushed on a dinghy packed with 112 people when it got into trouble several hundred yards from the beach. More than 14,000 people have made crossings so far this year. That is 10% higher than the number recorded this time last year, 12,772, and up 6% on the same period in 2022, 13,318, according to provisional data from the Home Office. The boats are getting bigger and the loads are getting bigger, said a Border Force source. There's interfactional warfare in Calais between the gangs. So if there is a boat around, there's a fight about which load of migrants gets on it. That can mean that there will be more than one load who will pile on, and there is then an increased risk of drowning as a result. We have also been doing work in the Balkans, Bulgaria and Turkey. There are more dinghies being intercepted, which is causing shortages. This means the loads are getting bigger. French laws. There has been criticism of French police officers for apparently standing on the beach rather than physically stopping the migrants setting sail in the dangerous dinghies, but they are hamstrung by French laws. This means they can only disrupt departures by, for example, slashing the dinghies. The French are restricted in what they can do. They cannot legally stop someone leaving France unless there is direct evidence that they are a criminal. There are all sorts of legal reasons why the French are doing what they are doing. It would require a change in the law to give them more powers to stop and arrest them. It means the only alternative is to try to disrupt them. Rishi Sunak negotiated a £490 million deal with the French to double the number of officers on the beaches, pay for more surveillance equipment such as drones, and build a detention and processing facility for the migrants. While on his trip to NATO on Wednesday, Sir Keir Starmer admitted that the small boats crisis could get worse before it gets better and that numbers coming across the Channel are going up, not down. The Prime Minister scrapped Rishi Sunak's Rwanda scheme on his first day in office, with the money to be diverted to a new border security command, which will oversee the recruitment of hundreds of new officers and investigators tasked to smash the people smuggling gangs. Fast-track deportations. The Labour Party also pledged to set up a new enforcement and returns unit to negotiate new agreements to be able to remove migrants into fast-track deportations. Sir Keir has said he will seek to negotiate a new deal to be able to return migrants to the EU, which some officials believe is critical to deterring people from crossing. Britain has hinted it would be prepared to accept unaccompanied migrant children and asylum seekers with family connections in return.